Call it GoldenEye or call it Petya. This malware brings about the same amount of harm. It will lock down your system, hijack your files, and grant you access only if you pay in bitcoins. While it might look like it's designed to make money, it's aimed at creating destruction and spreading rapidly. One of the countries badly affected is Ukraine, where the attack started. It has reported 80% of all cases, with Italy's second hardest hit at around 10%. Many Ukrainian banks and financial institutions have been completely paralyzed. While speculation of a state-sponsored cyber attack carried out either by Russia, China or North Korea are plenty, analysts say there is little evidence.
We'll have to see where the evidence leads in this particular case. Ukraine is, Russia is the obvious target for Ukraine to point at, but there are many criminal organizations in the world based in many different countries, and it could be a criminal organization, it could be a hacktivist, it could be a nation state, so it's just really too soon to tell.
Global corporate giants such as Maersk, Rosneft and WPP have all reeled under the impact of the hack attack. Their data has been compromised and locked away, and they cannot access their own web servers. This has caused disruption in business worth millions of dollars. Governments from around the world say they will now strengthen their collaboration on cyber defense.
The cyber attacks we have seen this week very much highlights the importance of the support, the help NATO provides to Ukraine to strengthen its cyber defenses.
And many believe Petya's main aim isn't to extort money from large corporations, but to attack the systems, create panic and hold them up for some time, sending a message that the developers of the malware can do far worse if they wish. Sourav Roy, TRT World.
Well, the FBI in the US has interviewed dozens of employees of the cybersecurity company Kaspersky Lab in connection with the hack, but the agency has reportedly told them that they are not in trouble. In a statement, Kaspersky said it has no ties to any government, and the company has never helped nor will help any government in the world with its cyber espionage efforts. The company has a 20-year history in the IT security industry of always abiding by the highest ethical business practices, and Kaspersky Lab believes it is completely unacceptable that the company is being unjustly accused without any hard evidence to back up these false allegations. So let's speak to Kaspersky Lab themselves now. Joining me live from Amsterdam is Jornt van der Wiel. He's a security researcher at the company. Jornt, thank you ever so much for joining us on Money Talks. Let's start by looking at the companies that have been targeted. What should companies be doing to prevent this from happening to them now?
They can do a few things. So the first thing is patch your software. The second thing is be aware of malicious emails, even though in this case they weren't used. Be aware of them. If you have an antivirus installed, make sure you have one with behavioral detection that looks at the behavior of a computer. And of course, make backups. If you haven't made backups, make them. And in this specific case, it's also important to block access to certain files that are used for the administration of your computer.
Okay, Jornt, let me just pick up on something you said there, that they should update their software. Isn't the updates, the patches that go onto those updates, aren't those specifically being targeted themselves?
Yes, in this case it happened. So the attackers, they attacked the update server of a bookkeeping software in the Ukraine, and that's how the malware got installed on the systems. It's really unfortunately, but it doesn't happen that often. This is quite a unique case. And when I'm talking about installing the security patches, I'm talking about the security patches of Microsoft, Adobe, like that kind of stuff. And those are usually better secured.
Now, frequently, these kinds of attacks, they demand a ransom. It seems to be a little bit different in this particular case because they demanded a ransom, but then those emails apparently didn't work. But in general, in these kinds of attacks, should people pay up?
No, in general, we advise not to pay, because if you pay, you're only helping the criminals to get more money, and the more money you give to the criminals, the more they will invest to infect other people. So that's also why we launched, together with other law enforcement agencies and with other private vendors, we launched the No More Ransom project, which is a project where we share information and where we try to fight ransomware together.
You're to the best of your knowledge, covering these things, what has been the biggest losses that any company has suffered as a result of an attack like this?
Well, it's really difficult to estimate, but there are some companies that can go bankrupt because of a ransomware attack, because all the files are encrypted and they cannot deliver certain data sets, and the fine for that can be more than the company has.
Now, most importantly, do you think that these kinds of attacks are going to escalate? What do you think could come next?
It really depends. If they are really criminals with the intention to make money, then this business model, attacking large companies and trying to infect as many computers as possible, does not make much sense. We've seen that it is much more profitable to infect small and medium-sized businesses because they rather pay than the big companies. So there is a chance that we will get a bigger attack. There's also a chance we won't see this again because it's not worth the investment.
Jornt van der Wiel, Kaspersky Lab in Amsterdam, thank you so much for your time.